On the night of February 9th, 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student named Maura Murray vanished after crashing her car on a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. Her car was found, her belongings were inside, the airbags were deployed, but Maura was gone. And in the 20 years since, no confirmed trace of her has ever been discovered. Brian, this case is one of the most infamous in New England. When you hear that, what do you think?
I don't know. It's just, it's weird, like, how local it is. I mean, we literally were in Haverhill today.
I know.
And, I mean, I feel like New Hampshire is, like, I don't know. I kind of count New Hampshire as a relatively, like, safe place. I mean, we don't hear about very many, like, very many crimes or anything like that,
Right.
or, like, missing people or murders. I mean, like, obviously that stuff does happen in our state, but, overall, I think New Hampshire is a pretty safe place to live. It's just weird, like, to hear of something happening so close in Haverhill, especially... I mean, it happened in 2004, so we were both alive. We were 1 year old, so this happened.
I know.
We were alive for this. This happened like 20 minutes away from us, so that's kind of scary to hear. I mean, we hear about these stories all the time, but they're not often.
Yeah, it's definitely unsettling.
Not often from New Hampshire. I feel like I've never really listened to anything from New Hampshire, right. So kind of creepy. But
okay.
Yeah, and it's still unsolved, right?
Yeah.
So whoever committed that could still be living like 20 minutes away from us, which is kind of scary to think about.
Stop it right now. All right, so let's start off with who Maura was. She was born in Hanson, Massachusetts, the fourth of 5 kids in a super close family. She ran track, she was an honor student, and for a while, she was at West Point before transferring to UMass Amherst to study nursing. People described her as smart, athletic, competitive, determined. But like anyone her age, she was juggling a lot, which I can get because...
Yeah,
I mean we're just turned 22, but like I was 21, like...
Yeah, recently, I mean, so that's a lot to go through. You finishing up college, and I mean, it sounded like she was doing a lot more than us, to be honest, because she transferred from West Point all the way to UMass Amherst. So
classes, family, long-distance relationships, money, stress, it just... seemed like it started to pile up.
Started to add up to a lot there.
Yeah, which I can see. Oh, Brian, tell us about that strange phone call that really stands out, like, just before she vanished.
Okay, so on February 5th, just 4 days before she disappeared, Maura... Apologies, we're just going to wait for our dryer there to finish its little song that it does when it's finished. On February 5th, just 4 days before she disappeared, Maura was working a shift at UMass. Around 1 a.m., she got a call from her sister Kathleen. Whatever was said, it left her sobbing at her desk. Her supervisor asked if she was okay, and she only replied, "My sister." To this day, no one knows what that call was about. Kathleen later admitted she was dealing with alcohol rehab issues at the time. But was that enough to send Maura into a breakdown, or was something else said? I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that has something to like do with the disappearance, or do you think that was just... I mean...
I wonder how much family stress like played into her mindset, like how much stress that gave her.
Yeah,
or how like what the balance was.
I mean, it's just like it's interesting to like think if it actually like plays into the disappearance, because I feel like family stress is something that a lot of people go through. I mean, it could be totally unrelated, right. But
I do feel like this breakdown could have been a sign of something bigger, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was only like 4 days before the disappearance, so right. there's always a chance that it had something to do with it. It's just, I don't know. I wish we knew a little bit more about what happened there,
or what was said on the phone call.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice if the Kathleen, the sister, like kind of maybe shed a little bit more light on what happened there, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Maybe
but maybe she did, and we just don't have all the details. And
yeah, that could be true.
Maybe that's. Just
this is the first case we're covering, so we're probably
I'm sure,
not.
I imagine she would probably be as helpful.
Probably haven't got all the details that we definitely could.
Yeah. I mean, in like some of it, she was dealing with like alcohol and rehab issues, so maybe that's all they talked about, and she just didn't want to get into her own stuff. That could have been the possibility. So maybe it had like nothing to do with her sister at all. Like.
Yeah, I mean that's what I kind of was thinking at first. Like, I mean. It's weird that it happened 4 days before, but I mean, also, like, it could just be something completely unrelated.
So, let's talk about the days before her disappearance. So, 2 days later, February 7th, Maura borrowed her car...
Is this 2 days like 2 days after the phone call, or 2 days after this is 2 days after the phone call with the sister.
Yeah, 2 days after her phone call with her sister Kathleen.
All right, sorry.
No, that's okay. 2 days later, Maura borrowed her father's car after attending a party. Around 3:30 in the morning, she crashed it into a guardrail.
At 3:30 in the morning? After a party?
Okay, anyways, the accident caused nearly $10,000 in damage. She wasn't arrested, but that clearly added more to her stress. Her father, Fred, later said he tried to reassure her, that it would get taken care of, everything will work out. But he was just worried about her state of mind in general because it just seemed like she was doing well. That's 2 big red flags in a couple of days. An emotional breakdown, serious car accident. And then comes February 9th, 2 days after she crashed the car, the day she vanished.
On that Monday, Maura did a series of really strange things. First, she emailed her professors and her boss saying there had been a death in the family and she'd be gone for a week. But there was no death. At least nothing that was reported of, no death in the family, so that was a lie. Then she withdrew $280 from an ATM. Footage shows her calm, no signs of panic. She also stopped at a liquor store and bought around $40 worth of alcohol, boxed wine, Kahlua, and a few other bottles. Later, investigators found that she had also printed out directions to Burlington, Vermont, and searched for rental condos in the White Mountains. So that was kind of a lot to unpack there. So obviously, she started off destroying the car, doing $10,000 worth of damage in 2004, mind you. $10,000 is a lot of money now, but back in 2004, that's a lot of money. So she did a lot of damage to that car. And I'm not, I don't want to just assume things, but it's 3:30 in the morning after a party, so it doesn't sound great. But I mean, we don't want to assume anything. Who knows? It doesn't say anything. I didn't see anything about any alcohol reported, so I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. But regardless, crashing a car is not ideal. $10,000 damages, not ideal. And then obviously she's emailing her professors about, saying there's a death in the family, like she's going to need time off. She's withdrawing money from the ATM. And it seems like she was possibly planning a road trip, I would think. Maybe it seemed like she needed a break from the stress, kind of. Obviously she was going through a lot, clearly.
I think so. I mean, I wonder if the 280 was all that was left in her bank account. I'm assuming not. So
I would assume not.
I wonder if
seems like maybe she just wanted
rent a place, like a motel for a night.
Yeah.
And she just had alcohol.
Yeah, it seems like I would assume she probably withdrew money. It seemed like she withdrew money for the weekend. I mean, it's 2004, so it's not like now where you can just go everywhere with a card. You know what I mean? So she probably needed that money for, you know what I mean? It was probably easier to just have cash back then. I don't even know how, you know what I mean? How were people even using cards back in 2004? I mean, we were 1 year old, so I don't really know. But was that even a thing? I mean, it must be if she's withdrawing from an ATM. So I mean, who knows? But I mean, that's probably a little bit more normal than anything. It seemed like she was just planning a trip. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like she just needed to get away from the stress. That's what it seems like. Or maybe she was trying to run away. Who knows? Maybe she was. Maybe she was planning on, who knows if it was just a trip for a little while or if she was out for good, It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And, the fact that she was never, obviously she was never found. So it seems like maybe, who knows? Maybe she was trying to get away forever. But she did take her textbooks with her. I don't know. Honestly, in my opinion right now, it kind of just seems like she's probably planning a weekend getaway.
I agree.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. It seems like she's been going through a lot. She's having a lot of stress. She lied to her professors, trying to get out of school for a little while, and she's going to take a little trip. Take a little trip up to the White Mountains, up to Burlington. It sounds like a nice weekend.
So let's keep talking about that night. After she went to the ATM, withdrew $280. After she stopped at the liquor store and bought $40 worth of alcohol, she then started to drive north. She left Amherst, Massachusetts, and headed into rural New Hampshire. At around 7:27 p.m., she lost control of her black Saturn on Route 112 in Haverhill. The car hit a snowbank, and the airbags were deployed.
A passing school bus driver named Butch Atwood There's nothing funny about that. That's just a man's name. There's nothing funny about his name being Butch Atwood. He stopped to help. He's a good guy, dude. We shouldn't be making fun of him.
No, it's not that.
Cheers to Butch Atwood.
I had a dog, like, almost named Butch, so it was like, it was. But it's funny going.
He asked if she needed assistance, but she refused.
Oh my god.
What are you doing? Why are you crushing the can? There's no need.
I'm not trying.
Butch asked if she needed assistance, but she refused, telling him she had already called AAA. But later records proved no such call was ever made. Atwood said she didn't seem injured, just shaken. He went home and called police. When they arrived at 7:46 p.m., less than 20 minutes later, Maura was gone. Her car was locked. Inside were her clothes, her textbooks, and the alcohol she'd purchased. One soda bottle smelled strongly of alcohol. So a soda bottle smelled strongly of alcohol.
I wonder...
That sounds like she was probably drinking and driving, right? Like, yeah. I would assume if it's in a soda bottle...
Again?
She bought, like, alcohol. I mean...
You know what? Maybe on the phone... Because it seems that she might struggle with substance abuse.
Yeah.
As well. Maybe she was talking to her sister for maybe advice or help, and maybe she was like in a depression with that. But if this is her second time drunk driving after already, maybe, I mean, like,
well, we don't know she was drunk driving the first time. We're just, I mean, it was 3:30. She'd been leaving a party. It didn't say anything about her drunk driving, but I mean, she crashed.
Okay.
She had at least crashed before, and I mean, if a soda bottle is smelling strongly of alcohol and she crashed, it's seeming like, maybe she possibly has been drinking and driving for the second time, and that could potentially be why she was leaving, I mean, obviously, I would assume the cops probably responded to the first crash. I mean, I don't know that for sure. It didn't...
I wonder if...
It didn't say anything if she was arrested.
If she was maybe afraid that she would get arrested, or...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
And so she fled the scene. Like, maybe she did get hurt. She was shaken. But maybe, she could have hit her head off the steering wheel. She could be, like, dealing with a concussion.
Yeah,
internal bleeding. Like...
Yeah,
maybe she just, like, got confused and, like...
plenty of cases where people are in shock. And they don't feel their injuries.
And it's cold. Like,
yeah, exactly.
The elements are definitely, like, not comfortable to be outside in.
And, like, if she was drinking, a lot of the times when people are drinking, they don't feel injuries. You know what I mean? Like, she couldn't...
Yeah.
If she's drunk and she's in shock and the adrenaline's going, like, maybe she just... maybe she had more serious injuries than she really realized, and that Butch couldn't see, like, an internal injury that she just... couldn't really feel at the moment due to her state, and you know what I mean?
I wonder.
And she tried to flee because she was scared, and What
if she decided, another theory, what if she decided to, like, she was like, cool, I can't go run there. I don't really know the layout of, like, or what this street looked like, but what if she just, like, put her thumb out and was like, oh, I'm going, someone take me, I need to pick up right now, like, someone take me to Vermont. And, who knows is driving past.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you never know. And he could have been like, yeah, sure, I'll take you halfway up to Vermont. Like, and she was just gone. Like,
yeah. No, I mean, it's true. And it's 2004, so it's a time where I feel like people were definitely more open to hitchhiking. She lied to Butch about having AAA. Or she lied to Butch about having called AAA already. You know what I mean? So it's even...
someone was going to pick her up. But
yeah, I mean, it could be like that. Maybe a sketchy friend or something.
Or maybe she just wanted to, like...
I think it seems like maybe she's...
life. You know what I mean? Like, she wanted to stage, like...
Yeah.
She got into a crash.
But it seems to me like she was probably scared about, like, maybe the cops or maybe her dad or, you know what I mean? Someone finding out. Probably, most likely... I don't want to assume without knowing, but, maybe she was drinking, and obviously that's another reason that someone wouldn't want to be found out, and maybe she wasn't thinking, in the best state of mind, having been drinking and having just been in an accident. So when Butch, nice guy Butch came up and offered to call AAA or offered to help or anything, she's like, oh no, I already got AAA. And then as soon as he left, she.
Okay, so to quickly recap, She crashed around 7:27. Butch called the police, and the police arrived at the scene at 7:46 p.m. So less than 20 minutes later, and she was gone. The police that same night launched a search. Neighbors had reported seeing a young woman at the crash scene, but by the time the officers got there, which again, less than 20 minutes, she was gone. No footprints were found leading into the deep woods. The car was locked, airbags deployed, everything left behind. She vanished. And you have to think it's winter, and there was snow. Like, you could kind of see the footprints.
Snow, or at least like the ground is soft. You know what I mean? Or,
you can see the footprints a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
in the following days, helicopters with infrared, scent dogs, and hundreds of volunteers scoured the area. The dogs picked up her scent, but it ended abruptly 100 yards down the road. Investigators believe this meant she likely got into another vehicle, which is what you said.
Yeah, so maybe she started walking away from her car. She got scared or something.
So now it's maybe like we're thinking she gets into another vehicle, so it's like, okay, who, you know what I mean? Like, who picked her up? Or did she mean to get picked up? Like, was she wanting to get picked up? Or was she abducted? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's start to get into the investigation and the different leads. So over the years, countless leads and tips have surfaced. In 2006, police even searched the home of 2 local men after rumors were circulating, but nothing solid came out of it. In 2019, human bones were discovered at a construction site in New Hampshire, and there was a little moment of hope, but they DNA tested the bones and confirmed they were not Maura's.
Her father, Fred, has always believed she was abducted. He insists she wouldn't have wandered off into the woods. Meanwhile, internet forums and podcasts have dissected every detail of her case. Some believe she staged her disappearance to escape her life. Others think it was just a tragic accident. And some are convinced she fell victim to foul play that night.
So let's get a little bit more specific on each theory. So theory 1, she ran away to start a new life. Supporters say her lies about her family death and her sudden drive north point that she tried to escape. But she left behind all of her credit cards, cell phone records, and personal belongings, but maybe she wouldn't need them because she started a different life. But that's if she went to start a different life and didn't get picked up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she got picked up and someone brought her to start a new life, you know? That's not...
Yeah, but that's planned. Like, she would have had to plan that with somebody.
It could be planned.
No, if it was planned, like, right. I think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting theory, but I mean...
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about it being, like, the most solid one.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyways, theory number 2. She died accidentally. Maybe she was intoxicated, wandered into the woods, and froze to death. Or, I mean, it doesn't have to be freezing. It could be, you know what I mean? Maybe she died of her injuries alongside the cold weather. Who knows? Maybe she had, like, some internal injuries going on, some, you know, you never know, some internal bleeding, something like that.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe something like that did happen, and benefit of the doubt, whoever picked her up, let's, like, give them the benefit of the doubt that they weren't, like, a creep. Let's give the person, say she hitchhiked, let's give them the benefit of the doubt of them not being a creep. And, you know, say she's clearly intoxicated, and, you know, the person doesn't know how much she's had. And if she's had, you know, got into an accident and she didn't disclose that to them, she could be dealing with, you know what I mean, injuries that they would not maybe think that was going on. So I wonder if maybe that person was just trying to give her a hand and picked her up and was trying to do the right thing, and maybe she died. You know what I mean? Like, she unfortunately passed away, like, in the car, and they were scared and, like, were like, oh my God, now it looks like I killed her and I didn't. And, you know what I mean? She could have had alcohol poisoning or anything, and they decided to dispose of her. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it was an accidental death, but maybe someone also did pick her up first, and she still had an accidental death, and they just weren't sure what to do. Okay, let's get into theory 3, which is kind of similar, but this is her being abducted after leaving the crash scene. So that makes sense with the cutoff from the scent trail, that the dogs, you know, couldn't detect her scent by anymore. It kind of remains unknown whether, if she was picked up, whether that was forcibly picked up or willingly.
To be honest with you, the way the theories are presented, I don't really support any of these theories. I mean, like, I kind of support parts of each of them, maybe together. I feel like she was drunk. It seems like maybe she obviously bought a lot of alcohol and stuff like that. I think maybe she was dealing with a lot of stress. She just crashed a car, possibly drunk driving. A couple days before, she had the bad phone call with her sister where she was clearly going through a lot. She lied to her professors, said that there was a death in the family. She needed some time away. It seemed like she was, getting ready to go on a road trip up north or whatever. Possibly because there was a soda can or soda bottle that smelled like booze. So maybe I think she was possibly drunk driving again. And she could have possibly gone into another accident. And, that is obviously, I don't know if the police were involved the first time or whatever, but, obviously she was scared of the consequences of that, I would assume. And, maybe she was trying to hitchhike to get away from there. And she either hitchhiked and successfully and maybe she went somewhere else and died of natural cause, or maybe she died of her injuries or something, or she got let out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and then she died of exposure to the elements there, or her injuries there or something, or maybe she got abducted by somebody while that happened, while she was trying to get away. And, unfortunately.
I mean, she clearly was not in her right mind, because if she, was going to get picked up, if she was hitchhiking in a coherent way, she would have had her purse on her at least. Maybe her contents inside of her car, her textbooks and stuff, she wouldn't take, but she would have at least taken her purse and, you know what I mean? Her cards. So
yeah, that is really weird.
So for that to not be a thought to grab, I don't know how incoherent she was with alcohol, or whether there was some obviously internal damage. She
maybe in shock too,
Yeah, so clear, definitely not a clear way of going about that situation. If you were being hey, I need someone to bring me to my so it seems like there wasn't much so I wonder if she was just scared and jumped out of the car and was I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna start walking, and someone offered to help and they just picked her up, or
Dude, I don't know, it's really weird,
because maybe her plan originally was to go, I'm just gonna have a few nights up at a hotel or motel. I have a bunch of alcohol. I needed that time.
Yeah.
Right? But I think she maybe started to drink starting into the drive.
Yeah.
After she got that alcohol. Clearly became too much. And she ended up crashing the car, and I think she was scared. And I think at that point she was no longer trying to start a new life and, run away. I think at that point she was shaken up and nervous and possibly dealing with some medical concerns.
Right, yeah.
And either she accidentally passed away, or someone picked her up and took her to a second location.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the more we talk about it, I kind of I could kind of understand the thought of her trying to start a new life, maybe. Because it's weird to leave all your stuff there. You know what I mean? But you said, she could be drunk, or we both were saying, she could have been intoxicated or not in the right mind. But also, it just seems you know what I mean? You would grab that if you were, you know what I mean? At the very least, you would grab your purse, you would think.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, you're drunk, you're in an accident, you're in shock, you never know.
Even if it doesn't have your identification as your lip gloss and just.
I mean, it's just in your money, it just seems weird to leave it all. And it seems weird to deny AAA. That could kind of lean in both, that could kind of lean in she was scared of the consequences and getting found out. But that could also be she needed time to plan her escape,
Yeah. I feel
I don't know. I could kind of see either, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The vibe I'm kind of getting is if she wasn't going to start a new life and had a new social security number and a new name, and you know what I mean, that takes you got to kind of know someone who can do that, obviously, but I feel she's been going up and down, and everyone's probably, maybe she's stressed out and she feels everyone's on her back, you know what I mean, asking her, obviously they're just trying to make sure she's okay, but maybe she was just obviously still planning to come back to her life. She brought her textbooks. Maybe she was I'm just gonna run a place, I just want to be by myself and I'm just gonna have a good time, and she had alcohol and I'm just going to study and, you know what I mean? Like, I just need a few days away from everybody.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, besides, like, the drinking and driving part and, like, all of that for, like, yourself. Like, besides that, like, there's nothing wrong with, you know what I mean? Maybe she was just like, I've had it with everyone. I just need a few days.
No, I think that's a pretty healthy, besides the drinking and driving, that's a pretty healthy thing to do, honestly. Like, if you need a couple days, like, take them. Maybe she was going to take, like, a couple personal days, but after she crashed, she was worried about getting in trouble for drunk driving, so she escaped. She hitchhiked and started a new life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's the opposite of what I was thinking before. Maybe she crashed and then she was scared. So then she's like, oh, I'm going to start a new life now. And she, like, you know, headed out and started a new life somewhere else. And she's been living somewhere else.
If she was given that opportunity, that whoever picked her up, you know, whether or not she wanted to be turned in or just live off the grid.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many possibilities.
I mean, but then you can, I mean, honestly, you could never go get medical care, but it makes your life difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can never go out and, like, you can't have, like, a credit card.
Maybe she got out into Canada.
Yeah, it depends who she met.
I mean, it was 2004. Like, I mean, it's not as easy to, like, go start a new life as it was, like, in, you know, like, 1900s or whatever the hell. But it's still, like, 2004, it's probably a lot easier to start a new life than it is now. You know what I mean? Like, not, you know, I mean, like, when we were born, like, security cameras aren't as good. Like, you know, technology is not as good. Like, it's probably a lot easier to start a new life. Like, and then just you know, get a new name. Maybe she's been fucking living in Canada for, like, this whole time. Maybe she's still alive. I don't know. I feel like if she was dead, she would have, or, well, I mean, if she was...
She's a student, like, and I feel like, I mean, with, like, a lot of things, like a nursing student, like, she's invested a lot.
Yeah, I
assume that she would like to carry that out, because clearly that's a field that, like, she enjoys being in. So I would assume that,
but if you crash drunk driving twice, maybe you won't be able to do that anyways. Maybe, you know what I mean? Or at least that's what she's thinking. But you're right. Like, I mean, it does seem like, you know what I mean? It seems kind of crazy to just...
Well, I guess she could always leave her car there. Like, if she wanted to return and not get in trouble for drunk driving, she could have left the scene. You know what I mean? Called, like...
Yeah.
Done anything.
Yeah, maybe that's what
and been like, oh,
you
know, I'm in an accident. And then she, like, waited it off and then came back and, like... Yeah. So she wasn't, like, present when, like, the car was, like, impounded. But not that I'm saying you should do that, but, like... There, like, if she wanted to return back to her life, it wouldn't be like, okay, well, if you're coming back, you're getting this sentence. Like, I mean, maybe, but, like...
Yeah, no,
she definitely would have had to, like, face the truth a little bit. You know, it definitely wouldn't have been, like, a super warm welcome, but people get over it. Like, her dad, obviously, like, is there for her. So, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's such a weird case, dude.
I know.
There's so many, like, possibilities. Like, it's honestly, like, really annoying that it's unsolved and we don't know. Kind of sucks.
It's been more than 20 years, and the disappearance of Maura Murray is still one of America's most puzzling unsolved cases. Her family continues to search for answers and hoping the truth will resurface. So let us know in the comments, what do you think happened to Maura Murray that night? Do you think she ran away? Was she abducted? Something else? Just let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be lovely for this to be solved because, like we're saying, this happened close by. So if there's a killer on the loose that did this, like, we'd like to know about that and bring him or her to justice.